Along this video, we continue to read the book, The Cashflow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. This is number 78, video number 78, and he has inside there a title where he says, The Wisdom of Risk. The Wisdom of Risk. Sounds interesting? Please join me. Hello, welcome to Take a Step to a Better You. If you're returning, I appreciate you very much. Always remember to like the video, share it, and please come here using notifications. I appreciate you very much. If you are new, welcome. My name is Sherifa Nakalema. I'm a business owner here in Virginia, USA. And here, what I do, let me share a schedule. I'm here daily. On Monday, I do YouTube tips. Tuesday, Wednesday, I read these books and I have money tips and business tips. Thursday, I drive around. Sometimes I interview someone. I call that my free day. So Friday, we discuss anything live, anything to make our life better, like time management, personal development, all those things. Then on Saturday, I come again live, affiliate marketing, and man online. All that is happening at around 9:30 p.m. USA Eastern Time. Except on Sunday, that's when I come at 1:30 p.m. and that's motivation. I may have a little bit later. Okay, that's the schedule. And also what I have to explain in every video, because you never know, it could be your first time to watch me, the Cashflow Quadrant. Why it's called the Cashflow Quadrant? Because Robert says we earn money, we get money from four sources. You could mix it up. It could be from just one. Either you're an employee getting a paycheck, or you're a self-employed person. Employee is E. S is self-employed or small business. But don't confuse small business and large business. Small business is self-employed. They are all self-employed. They are on the same side as a self-employed person and small business. But then you earn to get a B when you are really a large business on the right, or an investor also on the right. That's how money comes to us. And he's teaching us all the problems on the left, and we are appreciating that people on the right really have a good life. So we want to work and get to the right too. So if any of that, what I do here sounds interesting, please consider subscribing. I ask you? I think I didn't ask you. Consider subscribing and click on the bell so that you are notified when I have new things coming up every day, every single day. I'm still doing it. I'm still going. Now, this is video number 78, and it's called, I name it, and this title actually is going to come a little bit inside, not immediately when I'm reading. I said the wisdom of risk. So I guess there is risk. Oh, there is some wisdom in risk. But I have to mention that this is video number 78, which means we finished 77 videos from number 1. If you want to watch all of them, I have a pinned comment, top comment in the comments. The top one is mine. It has that link. It's a playlist, and also you'll find it at the end of this video, also in the description. The audio is free for 1 month. Amazon Audible, link in the description, and also a physical book. That one you have to buy. The link takes you to Amazon.com. Okay, now we are going to read. And this is the last, this is the end. This video is the end of chapter 8. And chapter 8 was, how do I get rich? We've covered a lot of stuff in here. So that was the name of that, and it's ending with this reading today. Okay, let's see what he's saying in video 78. He has, we're going to get to that risk a little bit later. He first has a lot he's saying right here. Okay. The subheading. Losers cut their winners and write their losers. He's going to give an example to help explain what he means. Losers cut their winners and write their losers. Fear of being, he's talking about like a stock market. So fear of losing, of being a loser, affects what people do in strange ways. I have seen people, now you follow this explanation because that's how you're going to understand why poor people act the way they act. He says, I have seen people who bought a stock for $20. a stock at $20, sell their shares when they reach 30. Okay, it's like when you invest, you see at 20, when it becomes 30, you decide to sell because they were so afraid of losing that they had gained what they had gained. It's like, okay, I got that 10, that's enough, let me run. And then they watch the stock go up 100, split and go up to 100 again. You have to know about stocks and splitting. But really, I call it losing money. I remember someone used to argue with me saying that's not losing money because they didn't earn it yet. But if they sold at 30 and the stock ended up being so high like that, I think they lost, although it wasn't there yet, but I feel like they lost. Okay. Ironically, that same person who did that, sold at 30, who bought stock at 20, will watch it go on down to 3, now it's losing. He bought it at 20, it becomes 3, and still hang on. And don't sell it. They hang on, hoping the price will come back up. This is an example of a person being so afraid of losing or admitting they lost that they wind up losing. That's actually interesting. When it's falling, they don't give up quickly. But then they give up quickly when it gains. I mean, they take it out quickly. Okay, now here's the second example of the winners. The winners cut their losses, their losers, and ride their winners. He's giving an example. Winners do things almost exactly the opposite. Often, the moment they know they took a losing position, that their stock price start to go down instead of up, they'll sell and take their losses. Most are not ashamed to say they took a loss because a winner knows that losing is part of the process of winning. Oh, that's interesting. Losing is part of the process of winning. When they find a winner, they ride it up as far as it can go. The moment they know the free side is over and the price has peaked, they cut and sell. The key to being a great investor is to be neutral to winning and losing. Then you don't have automatically driven thoughts such as the fear of greed, or such as fear and greed. Doing your thinking for you. Okay, now it has another sub-headline. It says, losers do the same things in life. Wow. People who are afraid of losing do the same things in real life. We all know now, for those of you who like to remember statements, you have these statements. People who stay in marriages where there is no longer any love. People who stay at dead-end jobs. People who hang on to old clothes and things they never use. People who stay in towns where they have no future. People who stay friends with people who hold them back. Those are all examples of people who are afraid of losing. They do the same thing in real life. Okay? They're afraid of losing what? Because all this was not good. Okay, now I have another one. Emotional intelligence can be controlled. Financial intelligence is closely linked to emotional intelligence. In my opinion, most people suffer financially because their emotions are in control of their thoughts. We as human beings all have the same emotions. What determines the differences between what we do and what we have in life is primarily how we handle those emotions. What? Let me read that again. What determines the differences between what we do, we put it in big letters, capital letters, do, D-O. The difference between what we do and what we have, that's also in capital letters, H-A-V-E, have in life is primarily how we handle those emotions. For example, the emotion of fear can cause some of us to be cowards, but it also can inspire others to become courageous. Unfortunately, When it comes to the subject of money, most people in our society are conditioned to be financial cowards. When the fear of losing money comes up, people's minds automatically start chanting security rather than freedom. Listen to these words because we're going to discuss them. Security rather than freedom. Avoid risk rather than learn to manage risk. Play it safe rather than play it smart. I can't afford it rather than how can I afford it? It's too expensive rather than what is worth long term. Diversify rather than focus. What will my friend think rather than what do I think? Wow. The wisdom of risk. Remember the title of this video? The wisdom of risk. There is a science to taking risks, especially financial risks. One of the best books I've read on the subject of money and risk management is, this is the title of a book, Trading for a Living by Dr. Alexander Elder. Elder is E-L-D-E-R. If you want to find this book, Trading for a Living by Dr. Alexander. And Alexander is B-E-R. And the under, the ending of that name. Although it was written for people who professionally trade stocks and options, the wisdom of risk and risk management applies to all areas of money management, personal psychology, and investing. One of the reasons many successful bees are not always as successful as I's, meaning the large business owners, are not as successful as the investors, is because they do not fully understand the psychology behind purely risking money. While the B's, these are the large business owners, this surprised me, by the way, when I was looking through it. While the B's understand risk when it involves business systems and people, that knowledge does not always translate into systems of money making money, which means the business owners may not be as good at making money as the real investors. I think that's what he's saying. It's emotional. Oh, this is the title. It's emotional more than technical. In summary, moving from quadrants on the left to quadrants on the right is more emotional than technical. Like moving from being an employee or self-employed person to becoming a large business owner or an investor. He's saying it's in summary, moving from quadrants on the left to quadrants on the right is more emotional than technical. If people are not able to control their emotional thoughts, I don't recommend the journey. The reason things look so risky on the right side to people on the left side is because the emotional fear is often affecting their thinking. People on the left side think play it safe is a logical thought. It isn't. It's an emotional thought. And it's the emotional thoughts that keep people stuck in one quadrant or the other. What people do, the do is big, D-O. What people do on the right side of the equation isn't that hard. I'm sincere when I say that it's easy as buying 4 greenhouses for low prices, waiting until the market improves, selling them, and then buying a big red hotel. Life really is a game of monopoly for people on the right side of the cash flow quadrant. Sure, there's winning and losing, but that's just part of the game. Winning and losing are part of life. To be successful on the right side is to be, he has the capital B, B-E, to be a person who loves the game. Star athletes often lose more than they win, yet they love the game. Donald Trump went broke and battled back. He didn't quit because he lost. Losing only made him smarter and more determined. You know, he's a friend. They wrote a book together at some point with Donald Trump. Many wealthy people went broke before they became rich. It's part of the game. If I'm reading the ending. If a person's emotion think for them, these emotional thoughts often blind them from seeing anything else. It's because of those knee-jerk emotional thoughts that people react rather than think. And it's emotional thinking that causes people from different quadrants to argue. The arguments are caused by people not having the same emotional points of view. It's that emotional reaction that blinds a person from seeing how easy and often risk-free things are on the right side of the Cashflow Quadrant. I encourage all of you who want to make the crossing to make sure, he's talking about crossing from left to right, to make sure you have a long-term positive support group and a mentor guiding you. The struggle Kim and I went through was worth it. For us, the most important thing about crossing from the left side to the right side was not what we had to do, but who we became in the process. To me, that is priceless. That's the end of chapter 8. And remember, now chapter 9 we'll start the next video. Be the bank, not the banker. Be the bank, not the banker. Now, I have a comment I wanted to say about, what he just said at the end, that you need a long-term support group. I think that's why I created that. That's what I had in mind when I was creating my group, Take a Step to a Better You, to have people who believe in the same thing, so you support each other. Although I had very few people who are true go-getters, and that's sad. Because people, when they come in, by the way, you watching me, I know some of you and my group, they come very excited, very excited. I don't know what happened. They start losing the excitement. Yet, we are here to support. We are here to support you. So he says you need a mentor, and then he also said something that's really, really very important. That is about who you become. I can challenge you that those people who have watched me read, very few actually, have watched me read the whole book. This, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and now this one, that you've been there, I can name. Janet, you are one of the people. I think you've watched all of them. There are others, but you are one of them. You are not the same person. He's talking about the process of moving from left to right, how it changes you. You change because now you know better. When you know better, you do better. So the process of changing who you become in the process, that's why lottery winners lose their money, because they don't become anything. They just get the money. But the person who creates $1 million, for example, the process they go through changes them. And he called it priceless. It's priceless what you become in the process of crossing from left to right. Because you grow, you know a lot, and you are kind of a different person. I think a better person. Okay, leave a comment for me. What do you think? Please remember to like the video, share it. They are getting longer because I read only 2 days, or we're going to read, it will take forever to finish a book. So please, when you see a video at 20 minutes, just watch it, because this is good knowledge. Because I cannot read very short if you have only 2 in a week. Leave a comment, like I always end them. I say, take very good care of yourself. Take very good care of your families. Take very good care of your health. Take a step to a better you. Bye-bye.